Of all the clubs in the competition, Parramatta has waited the longest for a premiership. 1986. Do their chances of ending that ever-imposing drought this year depend on the outcome of the next 80 minutes? The top four, it is such a big thing in terms of premiership aspirations. And Clint Gutherson last week, Andrew Johns, 2 tries, 2 try assists, a line break, 5 tackle busts. He's the king of Parramatta.
His support play last week, pretty much all year, has been top-notch. In particular, with his back rowers on the left side, with Sean Lane on the right side, Papali'i. Watch that close support of the king.
So Melbourne come here on the back of that gladiatorial-style showdown against the Roosters. The Para have steamrolled the Bulldogs and the Broncos in back-to-back weeks, but this is a proper game tonight to kick off the last round of the Premiership proper for season 2022, and there is so much on the line. It's a grand final of sorts for both clubs if you think about the history books and what they say about top four. So Melbourne out to the 30, and already the Parramatta chant to start tonight's match. Thursday night footy from Combank. Here's Bromwich now, played to Grant and left to Big Nelson. Oh, the boos for Nelson. He ripped Parramatta apart when they played back in round 3 in a classic game. He was Melbourne's best forward that night. Now Munster. He goes airborne with his first kick of the night, and Nofaluma running down with intent. He flings Gutherson to the turf. Here's Wonga Blake. He's got 7 tries in his last 7 games on the wing. Bailey Simonson left out of the 17. It's working so well with Blake out wide. Now, the Penasini, he'll mark Justin Olam tonight. There's an examination for the young centre. Gutherson now. Within 10 of the halfway, played it to Marnie and Junior Polnor. Ball in one hand as he gets up to the halfway. Marnie for Mitchell Moses. And Munster remains at fullback despite the absence of Jerome Hughes. Certainly in defence anyway, but he'll be popping up everywhere with his tally this year of 11 tries and 14 try assists.
Yeah, we can expect him to do a little bit of kicking down that left-hand side of the field. Cameron Munster, no Jerome Hughes. He does the majority of the kicking for Melbourne, but he'll get the ball in his hands, Munster.
Now Grant, a little short side attack, and Johns to Sebe, and they've run out of room. Coates up against the touchline there, had no real estate to work in. Let's go sideline to Brad Fittler. It looks a glorious night down there.
Well, that happened right in front of us, and I've got to say the hardest workers in the first couple of minutes have been the crowd, trying to get a penalty for the Parramatta team coming out of trouble, and then they're booing at any opportunity. They just had a beautiful opportunity then with Xavier Coates getting pushed out. Big Nelson gets a boo every time he sees it. There's a slight breeze behind the Melbourne Storm, not too much given this stadium doesn't allow the wind in that often, and the temperature is absolutely beautiful. Not much dew on the ground, may get a bit dewier as the night goes on.
Thanks, Brad. Enjoy it down there. Here's Marata Niokore up into the starting lineup again for Parramatta this evening. Now Brown for Lane. She's having a season, Sean Lane. His last 7 weeks, he's run for, on average, 170 metres per game. 15 tackle breaks last week, Sean Lane, as Gutherson turns it back on the inside to Isaiah Papali'i. Within 19 of Melbourne's line now. Polnor, inside pass near Corey. Good defence, there's the boos. Nelson's involved, I didn't need to tell you. Moses, Brown, they overran it out there. He's going to give it back to Moses, who can kick towards the goal line. Meany back there. And he evades Gutherson, and he palmed off Polnor, and he gets to Brown, and he has the confidence for a one-hand pass away to Cooper Johns. He's on him. The Roosters held him well last week. He only ran for 66 metres, Justin Olam. And similarly with Munster. wasn't able to influence that game in an 18-14 result in favour of the Roosters. Now Kamikamitha hit hard, but that was very fast out of dummy half from Grant. And the big men closed in, Lane and Polor. Now Johns with a dummy and run. Opacek combining with Brown there. It'll be Munster who can run and then kick high up into the night sky, and Blake takes it nicely and he offloads as well. So two teams full of confidence in the early exchanges.
Well, if this game keeps up this pace, it's going to open up at the back end of this half. Apart from the Melbourne Storm running into touch and 20 seconds of dead time there, it's been ball in play. Fatigue will certainly set in.
Sivo. A try a game he scores here at Combank. 35 in 35. Campbell Gillard now. This is super fast footy. Niokore tackled around the legs there by Kafusi. A fast play the ball from him, and Moses. High and long with the kick. And David Nofaluma, who's on 98 career NRL tries, has smashed. Great kick chase.
There is some real fatigue already. Some of these forwards from Melbourne struggling to get back on side.
Well, the stakes don't get any higher, do they? As Munster's buckled. We know the stat, it's been repeated over and over this week, but no team has won the premiership in the NRL era from outside the top four, and conversely, the loser here faces the end of their season potentially next week. Munster again, down the left-hand side.
Great positioning, Gutherson. He worked so hard on his game away from the football. His reaction time was perfect there. Saw Munster go down that left-hand side.
And they send it wide now through Opacek. Well, you're getting finals football early here. Wonderful standard. As Sivo runs it up the centre. They've won 3 from 5 against top 4 opponents before tonight. This Parramatta outfit. It's the teams down the bottom they've had the issues with, but they've won 7 of their last 10, so they are heading towards the finals in good form now, as Polor is tackled on play 5. Marnie sends it away for Moses. Once again, it's a repeat of his previous kicks towards Nopaluma.
Yeah, that one wasn't quite as deep. That was on the 10-metre line. He nailed the last 2 and put him about 3 or 4 metres away from that try line and made Melbourne come off their own try line. They got a decent field position here, Melbourne.
Nick Meaney, Cameron Munster, Cooper Johns, Xavier Coates in from the wing. Tackled well by Opacek. And here's Seve out to the halfway. Munster now through the centre. Munster gets to Gutherson, who drags him down, but his arm didn't hit the deck. So it's play on with Grant in support. Defence thought he was tackled, but that was all okay. That was smart thinking by Munster. What would you expect? What else? And he goes through the hands now to Meaney, and the ball to Nopaluma, who cuts back in field and gets up to the 10. This is good to watch. It's the last now, and a kick by Meaney, and Sivo with a running jump diffuses the danger.
Can't believe the speed of the game. There were no errors, except when Xavier Coates went over the sideline. The ball's pretty much been in play ever since then.
Yeah, you just see that last set, Munster injecting himself and got the first receiver and a bit of a shift on the footy, and then pushed on a bit of shape off Seve, as we see Parramatta get a relieving penalty. And they'll get a set start here, Parramatta.
Gee, they are tired. Look at Lane. As soon as that penalty was blown, it was like, oh, thank goodness for that. Yes, Brad?
Well, as you can imagine, it's pretty hard to spot up the fullback when they're right back there. But one thing they're doing is spotting up the hooker, Harry Grant, realising how dangerous he is out of dummy half. And when he's fresh, he's very dangerous. He's made 11 tackles already.
Here's Brown. He's equal 5th in the league for try assists this year, Dylan Brown. 16 in the season. He and Moses combined 38. That's the leading halves combination in the comp. There was a question on the pass, but the referee was okay. Polo away to Papali'i. And they work back to the middle of the ground now. Maranania Corey. 19 out. Marnie waits. Melbourne rush out of defence. Moses sends it to Brown. A couple of dummies, takes on the defence himself. Wonderful runner of the ball. But he's lost it there, so a little victory for Melbourne, who handled all that pretty well.
Yeah, it was just the physicality over the top. Marion Seve.
Scrum in the middle.
He was fighting for metres, Dylan Brown. You see on the replay, Johns around the legs, and the physicality over the top by Seve just dislodges the ball. There would be some tired boys out there, Joey.
You can see it. Can't believe how quick the game's been in the opening 10 minutes.
Off. Wait! Wait! Stay there, back.
Penasini with the tackle on Olam. Young bull, old bull up against each other tonight out there. And Nofaluma doesn't go anywhere. And here's Kenny Bromwich, that's a good run. And a quick play of the ball as well. And they send it centre field to Kamakamitha. And Melbourne get their penalty this time.
Where you flop back in and stay in.
Yeah, just watch here, Kamakamitha picks out Dylan Brown. And Dylan Brown looks to go over the top. And the strength of the big Fijian bumps him off, and Dylan Brown can't help himself. Flops on to get that extra second or two.
Oh, it's a forward pass. Oh, that's a bad mistake on tackle number 1.
Yeah, they just pushed the envelope there, the Melbourne Storm, looking to shift off the tap. And then the Bromwich brothers, they combine, but they just get their timing wrong here. Let's watch the replay. Right on that line, a certain forward pass.
They got the ball, Jesse, and ran straight towards the sideline. You've got to be playing straight. Go towards that sideline and you fade off that pass. It makes the pass look forward. In that position, you've got to think run.
Oh, here's Polo out wide off the scrum. Tackled well, Marion Seve. He's done a great job. He wasn't one of the first choice outside backs for Melbourne this year, but they've got a number of players missing 9 overall of their top squad. And Remus Smith and Pappenhausen, of course, all testing the depth of the outside backs. Parramatta within 26 of the Storm's line now. Here's the skipper. Gutherson tackle. Parramatta setting up for an attack out wide here, maybe, although the defence cut off that option and Polo had no choice but to go to the line. Tackle number 5 now. And Brown jinking with a bit of footwork. Oh, they didn't let him, they didn't tackle him, they let him get up and go, and Brown scored. Dylan Brown gets the try.
Left foot, Dylan Brown. This has been his strength this year. Deceptively strong, really quick across the ground. Harvey Norman replay. Left foot again. Hits, bumps, dummies. The bunker may have a look at this one. He comes off that left foot, Billy, really sharp. I think it's play on.
Yeah, his elbows weren't on the ground. His momentum, and they didn't have control of him, and he just gets up and goes again. But that's his strength, his running game, Dylan Brown. It's no coincidence that Sean Lane's having a great season, and so is his half inside him, Dylan Brown. Down to you, Brad.
Yeah, they're in uncommon territory, the Parramatta Eels. In all their games against top 8 teams this year, they've been the team that's been scored against. So it'll be interesting how they handle this.
You can see the movement there of Felice Kafusi. He went up off the line, but then was leaning out. I think he's worried about the threat of Sean Lane. Dylan Brown saw this. Left foot. Looks sharp.
Yes, the 6 and the 7 have been exceptional The Eels on the board first, and Moses has converted. They were up and about here at CommBank Stadium before the game, but they're into it even more now. Dylan Brown, the golden boy of this Parramatta club, has scored the first try, and this kick's going to go out on the full. Oh, they've compounded a defensive error by kicking out on the full.
Yeah, some people might think you have to catch the ball, but as long as your foot's on the sideline, you only have to touch it off the kick-off, and it's a penalty back on halfway. You see Mike Acebo, he knows the rules. Just touch the footy, and they get good field position. The first field position came off a Jesse Bromwich forward pass, and now Cameron Munster out on the full. Oh, here come the Eels.
How many of those have we seen the last few weeks?
Wow, what about that
35
kick?
metres the kick. The tap was taken 15 out from Melbourne's line. Look out, Melbourne. Here come the Eels again. Campbell Gillard. Centre of the 10-metre line. Kamitha made the tackle. Here's Brown on the inside near Corey. Murray Grant down low. Jesse Bromwich up top. Kamitha in there to help. Marnie, lovely ball from dummy half. Polar. Oh! Shot, that's the hitman. It's the Papua New Guinea pile driver. Wow, Justin Olam with another special tackle, but the ball sneaks away here from Polar to Brown. Oh, it is roughly dealt with there by Kafusi. It's all legal. Marnie, the Campbell Gillard, and now Corey. He powers his way over the line. The bunker is being asked to have a look, though.
Well, he thinks he scored the try. Murata near Corey. Great interchange of passing.
I have no try.
Through some middle
checking
forwards.
to see whether Melbourne stripped the ball.
He got up confident, Murata.
He's a gun. Near Cora.
Backs over the line, and does the ball touch the ground? Oh, Nelson's...
The touch, he's ruined us there.
His arm underneath the ball.
Surely
Just looking to determine if the ball gets to the ground.
Surely a bit of the ball hits the ground.
Well, I think Nelson's got his forearm underneath the football. The touch judge goes across the screen.
At this stage, the ball is up.
There.
Oh,
The ball now vanishes.
Oh.
The ball is up again at this stage. I'm just going to try and see if we have another angle to see if the ball is on the ground.
Touchy. You're not going to be popular down there.
Is that Craig Bellamy, the touch judge there?
It's Cameron Smith.
Oh. So it's gone up, no try. So if there's inconclusive evidence to overturn that, it'll
Based
stay
on the
no
live
try.
decision of held up, we'll be supporting that live decision.
Well, where's Cameron Smith gone since he did his stand-up? I haven't seen him. He's got changed. He's got a touch judge outfit on.
What about the shot from Justin Olam? That was a bell ringer. Oh, he came from the next suburb to get Mitchell Moses, and he's just put him on notice. You want to come down my edge?
Last. Use your foot, go.
Wow.
All right, still one more play, though. And Moses, a kick here for Blake. Oh, he got up. He got right up there. It bounces back to Munster.
Joey, make sure there's no knock on.
He says it was knocked back by Melbourne, but the bunker will see if Wonga Blake got a hand on this. Oh, he got some hang time, Wonga Blake.
Wonga, you've knocked the ball on in the in-goal area.
Beautiful passing by the Parramatta big man
off Melbourne first.
to get near Corey over the line.
Be a scrum, yeah? It's a scrum. It was
So they're ruling Wonga Blake got a touch on that football.
So you guys touch it first. So what it is, guys, Melbourne touch it first backwards, then you knock it on. Scrum. Let's go, guys.
Down to you, Freddie.
Yeah, I was just thinking if they got another set, if Parramatta and Mitchell Moses, if they're doing their job, they would have went straight back to that right-hand side to Justin Olam. If he had got rid of the ball out of 3-on-1 and about 20 metres of space, he spotted him early, Justin, but if he could get rid of that ball, Mitchell, that would have been a try for sure. I'd be drawing him out of the line, Justin, and then just taking that right-hand side on.
He might need to go back to get a few ribs.
Yeah, be a brave man to draw Justin Olam out of the line. Oh, he's a beauty, isn't he? Here's Big Nelson now. Oh, the boos are getting louder, but the offload was effective, and Grant's there in support. Tackled by Niokore. He's had a great start. Oh, Bromwich has knocked it on. Oh, he's normally so reliable, Jesse Bromwich.
I think he dropped one early last week too, Bill, against the Roosters.
Yeah, he'll be really disappointed in himself. He's the captain of this group. You've got to catch those balls, and he was the one that threw the forward pass that gave Parramatta the field position for the first try. And I want to defend this set for their captain here, Melbourne.
A bit of warmth in the air around Western Sydney.
There's some warmth from the centres here, Junior. Ugh.
Glorious night and a wonderful contest here. Niokore.
Been getting some traffic at Nick Mooney, Papali'i on that right side.
Brown now. Fusi with a good shot. Munster up there in the main line as well. They take off down short side and pole off a Lane, who did a lot of control that. Bromwich gets over there to help with defence. They're 6 metres short when he played it. Marnie away to Brown, who sends it for Moses, and now Gutherson. They got an overlap ball. He came back infield there, Penasini, and ducked under a high one. He got a pass away to Isaiah Papali'i. Just couldn't get that ball on the outside. Oh, they get a 6 more on tackle 5. Gee, the tackle count's starting to stack up now. Melbourne doing a power of work on their line. Marnie over to Moses, now to Brown, and out for Gutherson. He won't get there.
That was well defended. Had the 3 big guns on that left-hand side, Parramatta.
But Parramatta reset. They've got a big, deep backline out to the right-hand side. The 2 front rowers combining. Poldor to Campbell-Gillard. Runs his way inside the 10. Bromwich is waiting for him. And they go to Moses, who bulleted one, but it was knocked on.
The pass was too good.
Yeah. Well, Brad was right. He went back down there. And this time, he got the better of Justin Olam. He got him with speed over the advantage line through a bullet pass to Penasini, who just couldn't handle it. He was in for all money.
Defended well, haven't they, the Storm? Could be 18-0. How much possession, field position, 62% of possession. Can't remember Melbourne being inside Parramatta's even their half.
Yeah, not to mention the petrol that it's taken out of the Melbourne Storm. Craig Bellamy's already gone to his bench. The cheese is on. Brandon Smith.
Numbers in the tackle there on Coates. Here's Smith now. He notched up over 150 running metres against the Broncos and Panthers, but only 62 metres last week against the Roosters. They really contain the danger men for Melbourne well. Here's Kafusi now. And they finally get up over the halfway. First time in a while. Strong tackle though by Brown. Kafusi plays it back to Munster. Kicks into open territory. Oh, fullback and winger are looking at each other, and Blake's got to run back to the in goal. Oh, that was a terrible miscommunication.
Yeah, we can see the Melbourne Storm left edge just identified that this ball's going to hit the ground. You see the high shot. They know now that the ball's going to hit the ground. They put the head down. Olam, Bromwich, they see the opportunity that something's going to happen. That was a great kick by Cameron Munster.
That's really poor play.
They're going to go short. Oh, no, they're not. Well, they tried to. It might be. It might. Oh, well taken. See, Harry Grant would have been a good fielder at long off, taking it like that. He totally mishit that, Gutherson, and it nearly hit the deck.
That was Fatty Vaughton.
It wasn't. I was just going to say, it wasn't quite as good as Fatty.
One-hander.
You blokes are kidding, aren't you, be saying? Here they are now, out of the left-hand side, and Bromwich. Oh, beware. Melbourne, when they got backs against the wall here, they're set for a hit back now, and they go to Meaney, and they got numbers here. Coates for the corner, no. He gets knocked over the touchline by Micah Sevo. They showed them the space, and then they cut it off.
How was that? He just shoved him.
That was a strong
He
shove.
ended up at the bar down there. Listen to the crowd.
Yeah, they just didn't engage the line enough. And Coates got an opportunity, but just a shove in the shoulder. That was powerful.
Yeah, well, yeah. Wait, guys, wait! Hey, Chewy, let go! Play the ball.
Good, solid front-on tackle. Brandon Smith on Isaiah Papali'i. Here's Campbell Gillard now. 6 points to nil. Parramatta leading Melbourne in a battle for the top 4. Finals only a week away, but you could be forgiven for thinking you're watching finals football here. Oh, strong pass to Solomona over the top. A buckling tackle on Madison, who's just got onto the ground. Started from the bench. And Campbell Gillard once again.
I think Nelson's enjoying being the villain.
Well, we better get used to it. Oh, he's absolutely crunched Mitchell Moses.
I'm sure he is.
He has crunched him.
It's just unnecessary.
I don't think it's high. I think the calls for a send-off are somewhat over the top, but it was late. Boom. He was never going to pull out of this one, Billy, was he?
It was late and it looked dramatic, but that's a penalty.
Oh, he's off
So
now.
Nelson's on report.
Cool your jets, Nelson.
Well, this is about the time of the game
Nelson's
last
on
week.
report. There's another fine coming.
Yeah. Report for that. Settle down. Seriously? Is he on report? That'll do me.
Skin the ball. Cameron! Cameron!
He didn't miss him. Look at this. Oh, that is an unfair mismatch.
I'm with Billy. That's not on report.
I think the crowd put him on report.
Well, they'll get even louder if the Eels can get their second here. Campbell Gillard. Marnie now. He plays to Holor. Right underneath the sticks, he's tackled by Kamakamitha. Now Marnie working out a dummy half. Moses stepped inside of Meaney, who came shooting out of the defensive line. They've used 3 plays. And Madison links with Brown, and Brandon Smith's got him. Gee, the goal on defence is good.
Just so fast moving.
Madison. Oh, he got him again! Olam with another bell ringer.
Freddie, can you stop giving Mitchell Moses tips? I think that's a message from Brad Arthur.
Go back there, Mitch. Go back there, Mitch.
That was top shelf. go back there. Goodness me. You go back there if you say free. He's Bromwich.
Ryan Mattisman right into the line. You can't go that deep into the line.
Oh, they got muddled up, but he's got a cool head, Nick Meaney. And he sticks one up, and there's a challenge by Nofaluma. Robert Gufferson takes it well at the back. Now Blake. Tackle by King, who's gone on for Big Nelson. And Mike Acevo. Oh, Cooper Johns has been knocked here, and he's very wobbly.
There's a bit of friendly fire. Kemakamitha comes in to finish off the tackle on Mike Acevo, a fellow Fijian, and he gets his own teammate. Oh, it's a head clash.
Oh, that's a big melon too, isn't it? It's a big, that's a heavy impact for Cooper Johns.
It looks like he's going to stay out there.
Like he's broke his jaw.
Yeah. And he's been doing a great job, Cooper Johns, defensively. Oh.
They asked him, who's the best footballer in your family? If he said Matthew, then you're off. Yes, Brad?
I'm not sure how long you'll be on there for. Melbourne on the bench, though. Trent Liero was about to go on, and then Chris Lewis got up. Now Trent Liero is back on the sideline. He's got the number 3 in his hand, so it'll be interesting the strategy if Cooper Johns has to come off.
All right, thanks, Brad. You keep an eye on that for us as Nofaluma runs back. And he's hitting a very rugged tackle.
Here he goes.
Here's the bunker.
Yep.
This is the medical bunker.
The injury surveillance doctors asked for the game to be stopped. Independent doctor.
Oh.
How didn't he break his jaw?
Yeah.
Game.
Well, they're running out of playmakers.
Billy, where the point's going to come for the Storm?
Well, it's got to come from the bloke who just played the ball, Cameron Munster. And he's got to get his hands on the football. Harry Grant and Brandon Smith in and around the ruck also. They've just got to get an even share of possession and complete a few sets. They haven't built any pressure over the last 10 minutes, the Melbourne Storm.
Smith goes to the line. Now Nick Meaney, now Munster, now Bromwich, now Olam. Oh, lovely. Lovely ball. Nofaluma back on the inside. Bromwich in support. Oh, he's got all the heavy hits and a bit of finesse as well, Justin Olam. Now Munster sends a kick out wide. He's got Coates on a running jump, but Sebo diffuses it.
No, he's just a little bit deep. Xavier Coates, he just got to the drop zone a little bit late. Mike Acevo got the advantage.
Now Opacek, Melbourne trying to keep Parramatta down here. Oh, leg pull, penalty.
That was a tackle.
Yes, that was
The ball
a soft
carrying
one.
arm hit the ground.
That was a soft one. They smelt blood there, the Storm. Compressed their defence up. Shoulder to shoulder. Tried to change the momentum with their defence. That was a cheap penalty.
Yeah, they did incredibly well, the Eels, to get back into formation, defensive formation after that line break down that right-hand side. And Mike Acevo was back on his try line and defused the bomb.
Well, we know one thing. This Melbourne Storm team will not go away. This feels finals intensity, and it's in these environments where this team thrives. So if Parramatta think they're going to roll over them here, they've got another thing coming. The stakes are high, and Melbourne will hang with them. And you just saw there down that left-hand side, a little narrow window of opportunity, and they make a break. Here's Brown into the corner, and it's a lovely kick. Gee, that's a good kick. Will they have the fortitude to pass in the in goal? No way. That's beautiful play.
I was watching him in the warm-up, Dylan Brown. And this kick from 30, 40 metres out, just kicked low and hard. Little 3-iron dink. He practiced this a dozen times. He is just taking his game to a whole new level this year, taking more responsibility. That was beautiful.
Pilot medical update, Danica.
Yes, some relatively good news for the Melbourne Storm. Cooper Johns has been categorised as a Category 2, so that means he still is a chance to return into the action tonight as long as he passes his HIA in the next 15 minutes.
The ball go 10. He's caught it here. The ball doesn't go 10. Xavier catches it before it goes 10.
Oh. Again?
I'm rolling the line.
Although Xavier Coates was over the 10-metre line, the ball's got to break the plane.
Yeah.
And they're saying the ball didn't break the plane.
Time's up, so we're done.
All right, 6-0 Parramatta, they're going to take a shot.
His hands are there, so he stopped it going. He's over here.
So Parramatta for an 8-point margin. In a game like this, that elusive 8 points could be very important in the wash-up.
Stay behind. Stay behind, guys!
Great crowd, great atmosphere, and an occasion to match as well. Parramatta 8, Melbourne 0, a showdown for the top 4.
It's been physical, great intensity. The best thing, the referee has let the teams go at it. There's been limited penalties, 6 to go, Brad Fittler.
The one thing Parramatta have done really well is their knowledge of their home ground. Just also you watch them in defence, how they use the sideline as the extra defender. Really slippery now here, as the game's got on, and then also with that kick from Dylan Brown. Just the way he kicked it, punched it, that way the Judas got hold of it and slowed it up, and ended up getting the restart.
He's had a good season too, this lad, Oregon Kafusi. He's off to Cronulla next year. Now Campbell Gillard. Punching out more metres up the centre. And down the right-hand side, Isaiah Papali'i gets up near the halfway. Moses and Campbell Gillard again, but Smith raced up and made a tackle before he could get going. Now Moses has got a lot of time, so he sends it up in the air and Gutherson chases. Munster takes it, and there was just a little chance for him to get through, but he was tackled well. Blake coming in off the wing in partnership with Penasini. Now they shift, and it's Lewis.
I think Chris Lewis has gone on at halfback, hasn't he?
Well, he's defending in that position where Cooper Johns was. I don't know if he'll be ball playing a whole heap.
Well, you talked about the points and where Melbourne will get their points from. Now Johns is off, and bearing in mind he may come back, but in Parramatta's recent victories over Melbourne, as the ball goes backwards here and Grant collects, Melbourne scored 24 earlier in the year, 28-24, but the 2 games before that, they held them to 14 and 10. So it's been their defence which has been the cornerstone on which they've won those games. Great kick, Munster, from his own 30.
Yeah, Harry Grant has done so much work in the opening 33 minutes. And he's still back on halfway, just getting into the defensive line now.
26 tackles, Bill.
Telstra is proud to be the naming rights partner of the NRL Telstra Premiership for 21 consecutive years now. I've got a great final series coming up to. It's going to be feels like it's going to be one of the great final series in recent memory. Gee, Campbell Gillard's been strong, hasn't he? And they've got a chance out wide here. Gutherson joining in. Tackled well by Meaney. Here's the last, again down a short side. That's off a hand, it's gone backwards, and Nofaluma sends it away to Munster. See, the half has flown by. We're 6 minutes away from the break. Here's Nofaluma now, offloading, Meaney in support, and Madison had turned his back there, so Meaney ran towards him.
You can feel it starting to turn, considering the stats. Only being down 8-0 is a big result for the Storm. With the stats, it should be up by 16, 18 points.
Now Smith running hard, tackled hard. Kafusi in the front line of defence. Here's Munster now, takes it on himself, got a high tackle.
Yeah, he was heavily influenced in that set. Cameron Munster, he started it with the kick return.
Back here.
And then a couple of times got the ball first receiver. Second last tackle of the set, gets it with bodies in motion, throws a dummy. Oh, I don't know about that. That's a cheap one. But they get a fresh set here. You can expect the number 6 to get heavily involved again.
Luyero now. He gets us back underway. Melbourne with 11 metres until they reach the Parramatta line, and Munster out wide now. Olam, he goes himself, he's tackled superbly. But he got a ball back infield, and I think Parramatta have taken it over the sideline.
For the young centre.
Oh no, it's a knock-on by Melbourne. What a tackle that is by Penasini.
Yeah, Will Penasini, player of huge potential. Just an area of his game he's really had to work on is his defence. Just watch him get across here, cuts him in half. Great scramble. That's a great battle out there, Olam and Penasini. Will Penasini, schoolboy rugby union star, along with Joseph Suaalii. Ready?
Well, that was an example of using the touchline as your other defender. Wanga Blake did a fantastic job there. I've seen him plenty of times come flying in and panic. He held his nerve then. He held his man Nofaluma. He allowed Penasini to do his job, and it paid off then.
Sevo runs straight at Harry Grant. Sevo in around the bootlaces, and coach there too. Now Marnie. Whoa! In comes Lewis and whacks him. Marnie thought it was high. Referee Ashley Klein said no. His lane. Campbell Gillard on for Madison. Now Gutherson hunting. A ball to Kafusi. Kafusi on Kafusi. Police beat Oregon there. What a tackle. Now Moses.
It's the first couple of offloads we've seen, really, from Parramatta. I think the defence has been so strong, wrapping the ball up. Looked dangerous then, with a couple of offloads. So they've just chewed so much petrol to Storm. How much have they got left to attack? Well, this will help.
Ryan Madison, hand on ball.
2 minutes before half time. You get a full set.
I wonder how many times Cameron Munster will touch the ball on this set.
Well, he's the indicator. Wherever he is, the ball's going to go.
So Luyero, with the first run, is put down just shy of the halfway. Meaney into the line, Munster for a charging Kenny Bromwich. How long until the break? Just under 2 minutes. Short side Ray. There's Munster. First pass away from the ruck, but Mitch Moses with an excellent tackle. He's got himself in a tangle, I think on purpose there, Cam Munster. Now, Meany to King. They've used 4 plays. Oh, the score on the stroke of half-time would be massive, and they send it out wide now to Lewis, to Kafusi, to Seve, to Coates. He tried to kick it, but there were plenty of Parramatta players over there. And Mike Acevo has dived on the football. I think Brad Arthur would be very happy with his team's defence there.
Yeah, well, he'd be really happy with his captain. If we got the high shot on this, the work ethic of Clint Gutherson, the work behind the defensive line to get himself across to Xavier Coates and create the extra number, that's the difference.
This has been an amazing defensive effort, Bill, from the Storm.
Don't push him and play it in front of him.
Pressure on Moses here. He has to kick from only just outside his 10-metre line. 20 seconds until the break. And David Nopaluma gives it to Olam, who goes back to Meany. And Nick's got up a cul-de-sac there. No way forward. Last play of the half. Munster can't get in between defenders, and he's tackled here. Well, that is a top shelf half of rugby league. It's the final round of the Premiership proper. Oh, but this has got all the hallmarks of a finals game. 4 weeks of this to come following this weekend. It's a battle for the top 4, and Parramatta had their noses ahead at the break. 8 points to 0. It's Parramatta with the advantage, but it's only a skinny one in terms of Melbourne's capacity to score points. They are the #1 attacking team in the competition. And lane now for Parramatta. The crowd has been very boisterous, as you'd expect here at Combank Stadium. Melbourne's only win here was against the West Tigers in the opening round of the competition. They've had 2 cracks at Parramatta on this ground and yet to come away with victory. Campbell Gillard. Oh, there's some strong defence up on the halfway. Smith there along with Josh King. Moses has kicked almost exclusively to David Nopaluma tonight. And the former West Tiger returns this kick, and he's stopped within a couple of metres of the 20 by Marnie, and also Isaiah Papali'i. Xavier Coates now. And now Felice Kafusi hit hard. Oregon Kafusi and Ryan Madison, the 2 defenders there. Now Liero runs it out to the 40. Played it to Grant. Brandon Smith, Kenny Bromwich. And Munster. Down the left, along the deck. Gutherson takes it on the bump and beats a couple of tackles, and nearly beats a third, actually. Nick Meany had to drag him to ground, and they get a penalty. Good return by Gutherson, beat a couple of defenders, and Melbourne just had to go a little bit too far there to stop his momentum.
Yeah, it was just Nopaluma entering the tackle after Nick Meany had completed it. A great return by Clint Gutherson. Beat 3 or 4 defenders.
Orsini's been very strong with ball in hand tonight. In good attacking real estate, the Parramatta side now as Madison driven to ground by Josh King. Played it to Marnie. Brown to Campbell Gillard running out wide. Kafusi and Liero combining in defence, but they're inside the 20, and they take off down the left-hand short side, and Lane comes charging on him, and he'll get over the line, but he won't be able to get the football on the deck.
Off tackle 4, Sean, you'll play the ball.
Yeah, you see Cooper Johns back out on the field. He does a really good job to keep his body nice and tight to Sean Lane.
Explain what you mean nice and tight there, Billy.
Well, there's just no space after contact, and any space there, Sean Lane would have twisted and scored that try, but he just kept himself nice and tight to his body.
Oh, Campbell Giller has not stopped tonight. On tackle 5, almost centre field. Lovely ball out in front of Moses, then Gutherson, drawing past, Petticini scores for Parramatta! Oh, that was glorious football. Great passing out on the right-hand edge.
Yeah, it all started from their dummy half, Tomo. Reid Marnie. He's got a tremendous pass out of dummy half. Just watch this first ball from acting half. Harvey Norman replay. Whooshka right out in front of Moses. Then he can go to work. And Gutherson, with that 3-on-2 situation, he picks out the right man. And Will Petticini, well, we're only mentioning how good a game he's had up against Justin Olam. And the Parramatta Eels, well, they start this second half in perfect form.
Yeah, beautiful decoy run from Isaiah Papali'i. Just pulled the defence apart. It was the last place, and the spacing between the centre and winger was bigger than what it should be in the normal defensive pattern. And Isaiah Papali'i runs the decoy. Just let it roll here. Just pause it here. Just watch this man here, Nick Mooney. You can see the spaces. The winger out here waiting for the kick. Just let it roll. And watch the decoy come through. Mooney goes in, Olam stays out. Petticini punches the hole. Beautiful play, Parramatta.
It's all timing and connection. That right-hand side by Parramatta.
Now, even early in this half, a clutch kick for Moses to take it out past 2 converted tries. He has drilled it.
Stay behind, guys. Not early, make sure you wait.
Parramatta first to score after the break. It's a big lead now at 14-0. Good defence though from the kickoff. Madison almost driven back to his goal line. Now Oregon Kafusi.
Yes, I see.
Now Papali'i. Great run. Played every game this year. Isaiah Papali'i, one of 6 Parramatta players to have done that. Marnie now. Doesn't run often, but runs effectively on that occasion. Gutherson back to Papali'i. And a set that started almost on the goal line ends within 9 metres of the halfway. Moses kicks to Xavier Coates, but the kick chase is good. So if Parramatta wins here, they lock up 4th and they set up a clash with Penrith in week 1 of the finals. And unless there's a dramatic shift in points differential, Melbourne would finish in 5th with a loss and play either Canberra or Brisbane, pardon me, in week 1. Yes, Brad?
I was just going to talk about Mitchell Moses' kick. The benefit of it, so they're testing the sideline again. Does a good job, Justin Olam. The benefit of having such a big kick, he sits so deep that the kick pressure from Melbourne doesn't really get to him. The only time it has, they've got a penalty out of it. Melbourne will spend all their time coming out of trouble.
Johns now. High kick, but Blake is so good in the air and he takes that one nicely.
Well, his team's given him plenty of practice to kick the football too, Mitchell Moses. And they've completed 21 of their 23 sets, so with that long boot, they're giving Melbourne no field position. You see the tackles in opposition 20, 23 to the Parramatta Eels, only 5 to the Melbourne Storm.
Offloading. And Gutherson, you know he's going to be there. Campbell Gillard hasn't had a rest.
Oh, he's been so good tonight.
They stack a short shot again, and it's Lane. Charges into Kafusi, although they can't hold his momentum. That's a mighty run by Lane. Look where they are. That's a powerful set, isn't it? This is Parramatta at their best so far tonight. Brown dinks a kick up in the air. Penasini made a play at it. Now Munster. An ankle tap by Moses, but he gets up and goes again. Now Papali'i's going to try and rip it away. You can't strip it off the master stripper, if you know what I mean.
He must be so strong. Incredible balance, Munster.
Oh, Moses has pinched it off Olam.
It's gone back into Justin.
Oh, he pinched it but knocked it on.
One-on-one strip that's gone back into Justin. Shot clock on.
If you're going to pinch something off Justin Olam, you'd want to run very quick.
Let's go! Off.
And the Storm have to find an answer. And they've got to find it relatively quickly because they've got to score 3 converted tries.
Well, they've got to find their footy. They look most dangerous when they're in formation, all in their lanes, and their key position players, Munster and Harry Grant and Brandon Smith, were getting the football in their hands.
Johnston, Munster now. Numbers out here. Good tackle, Sevo and Sebek. They've given them that invitation all night, haven't they, to spread wide, but they've shut it down every time. Now, Jesse Bromwich is back on the ground. Munster, he kicks for Coates here, but Gutherson takes it, but he's tackled back at the end goal.
Yeah, it's a smart kick by Cameron Munster, but he was even smarter going at the approach of the catch. He just waited for Clint Gutherson to come down and hit the ground, and he held him up, and he rushed him over the try line.
Yeah, that was class. He stood there and overcalled the play. The ball's going to go to Cooper Johns, but he overcalled an inch perfect. They'll go short again here, Parramatta.
Oh, it's a pinpoint kick. It's Grant again.
Jumped Junior. Ran past it.
Didn't even need to jump. It's Harry Grant.
Now King. Can Melbourne strike here? Grant scheming. Johns out the back. Meany. Oh, Moses with a magnificent tackle on Bromwich.
Oh, no. And Kenny Bromwich, he's still on his back. The play was on out the back. Cameron Munster was out the back. He had an overlap. Was it high? Oh, no.
No, what? It's his head's hit the ground, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
headbutt.
What a tackle, though, by Moses. Incontinent. Bang!
He marked that moment down with Mitchell Moses. I think the last 3 weeks has been the best I've seen him play. He's been in total control.
So Bromwich is on his haunches. It's 14-0.
What's the line?
Oh, I think it was incidental with that. No. Come on, please don't.
Well, he's all pumped up the halfback. A tackle that forces the ball free. Now Bromwich is coming from the field. They've cleared the contact there. I think a few people were agitating.
Well, it was great initial contact. And then he gets head on jaw as he hits the ground. Down to you, Freddie.
Yeah, I think you were speaking before about when Sean Lane nearly scored and how Melbourne were getting their body close to the attacker. You could just see Mitchell, as soon as he lost balance, Kenny, he just got tight. He got in nice and tight and there was no space at all during that whole motion. So I've got to say that's just a good tackle.
I thought they were booing Kenny Bromwich off the field, then I realised he was being replaced by Nelson.
Yeah, if Parramatta go deep into this competition, which I think they will, mark that moment down. This could be Mitchell Moses' big semi-finals coming up. I'm really impressed with him in the last 2-3 weeks. His control, his kicking gun.
Look at Pollard.
The junior.
That cool. A thunderous run from this unbelievable athlete. Moses kicks high. There's some challenges chasing. Blake knocked it on. And Nofaluma sweeps it up, gives it away to Munster. Palms off Brown. And he fires a long ball to Xavier Coates. Good tackle there by Opacek. Marion Sebe.
Well, that pass there from Munster, and it shows he's going to put the accelerator down. A bit of scoreboard pressure. They know they have to score 3 times. Could be some big risks coming up.
Oh, there's Jesse's best run in a while.
By the Storm.
He'll be stung from a couple of errors in the first half. Johns, Kafusi, bounced off Opacek. Don't write them off. If they can get one, they can get on a roll. Meany fires it out to Nelson. Oh, Moses went almost cartwheeling out the back. Now Grant off the left foot, kicks to the in goal. And oh, what about the patience of Gufferson?
Wow, how cool.
Look at Craig Bellamy. He's thinking, oh, that could have gone either way.
That was cool by Clint Gutherson. He had pressure on him by Melbourne Storm chasers. And he gave that ball every chance to get over the touchline, and he got there.
Well, that's a blueprint for the Storm. They've got Nelson out here on the left side, getting him at a smaller player. And it's not necessarily that play, it's the play after. Get a quick play of the ball, one marker, the strike on that next play.
Opacek, there's good meters. And an offload on the back to Polor, who gives it away now to Madison. And then Marata Niokore, who's out there. Madison charging. Thought about popping it out the back. Does that at the second attempt. Now Paulo shows in. Plays out. Niokore. All the big forwards passing together for Parramatta. 4 tackle. They're inside the 10. Melbourne defending for the game, you'd have to say. Moses has a look. Oh, come here. Come here, son. Nelson squashes him into the ground like a Coke can. Brown with a chip. Lane trying to get at the ball. Penalty.
Police.
Well, he's got Felice Kafusi for an obstruction.
On Sean Lane.
An escort. Sean Lane coming through. He's a real target on that left-hand side. Sean Lane with these kicks. Dylan Brown puts it on the spot.
I don't believe it is. He's gone past.
Oh, that's a soft one. You just get the feeling that this next 10 minutes, this next little period, the game's on the line. They're going for the try.
Now Polor. I wonder if this early defence that Melbourne had to withstand plays a factor here. Oh, they made a mistake. They just pushed it early in the count, and there's a knock-on for Parramatta.
Scrum in the middle, shot clock
Nelson
on.
do to Moses? What was the Coke can?
Well, you know, you stand on the Coke can. Then you throw it in the recycling bin.
He's had Justin Olam fired out of a cannon a couple of times at him, and then Nelson's got him by the scruff of the neck. He's tough, Mitchell.
yes, this will be unbelievable tomorrow. We open the new Allianz Stadium. It is a magnificent complex, and it's the Roosters versus the Rabbitohs, the two bitter rivals doing battle. 7:30 Friday night footy. Melbourne shifting out to Sebag. You just sense, Jets, if they can jag one, it's such a big occasion. Parramatta, they could get the jitters here in it. They can just put a bit of pressure on the scoreboard. They're hanging in.
This next little period, really important, especially for the Melbourne Storm.
Oh, Munster with a kick and follow, but Gutherson, Billy, that was exceptional.
He's been terrific.
He's winning the big moments, isn't he, Billy?
There was a try-scoring play in the first half, and then let that ball was so cool under pressure just moments ago, and then taking that, there's so much heat on him.
Well, they're really turning up the defensive intensity on this set. A couple of big shots. Now Corey running hard. Grant met him first. Kafusi came in, but he bumped away from Grant's first tackle. He's a good, strong runner near Corey. Oh, what about this bloke? Hold on. Well, their middlemen have been immense. Now Brown, delayed, it's the last tackle. Mike Acevo's going to have to kick it, and he kicks ahead himself. Acevo with the boot again, and Munster got it, and then he sends it to Meaney, who feeds it over to David Nopaluma, and then Olam. He's lost the ball, Nelson. The boos turn into cheers instantly.
Yeah, well, he's picked out the small man, Reid Marnie. You see Nelson, he's identified Reid Marnie. They're going to say that he's gone for the strip.
All right, Grant, one tackle one. We have the captain's challenge from Melbourne, disputing the decision that it was a loose carry from Nelson. They believe there's a strip.
You see Sofa Solomona pick out Reid Marnie, and he just gets his hand underneath the football and reefs it back. That's certainly playing at the ball.
Reid Marnie is looking to secure the ball. He's bumped off the tackle, so there's no intention to strip. It's part of the tackle. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Was that what you said, Billy?
No, that's not what I said.
Brad?
I'm going to go with the 25,000 people in blue and gold because I need to get home tonight. we're on Reid's side.
I'm in a box, I'm okay for now.
It was interesting, Mitchell Moses before the game just saying that they needed to get a straight line. They said about Cam Munster, but you can see there's been a concerted effort on every single play just to keep their line straight regardless of what's happening in front of them. They're doing a brilliant job maintaining that ethic.
Well, Brad Arthur would be really impressed with how ruthless his team are at the moment. They're completing their sets. They're running hard through the middle of the field, and he's always spoken about that platform that his big men lay for their halves and their outside men.
There's Polo. Johnson Grant together. There Corey. Down to the 20-metre line. Is this where Parramatta put it beyond reach? They play left. That's their strike side with Lane and Brown together. And they combine there. Lane tackle within 11 of the line. Ball sent to Brown. Oh! Just a couple of options last set, Andrew, where they didn't get a kick away, and that one where they've knocked on.
Well, there was a pass the previous set where Reid Marnie went behind
Para.
a crash runner. That one there, Dylan Brown just put it too far out in front of Junior. These big games against the best teams, you only get a few opportunities a half. You've got to nail those passes. The attention to detail has to be first class.
We've got a pilot medical update, Danica.
Yes, Melbourne's job just got a little bit tougher. They are now one player down. Kenny Bromwich has failed his head injury assessment.
Okay, thanks, Danica. Oh, Big Nelson. That was weird. He turned before he even got to the defence there. Here's Jesse Bromwich now.
Big man.
He could hit the defence at any angle and it'd be hard to tackle. Now big Tui Kamitha He nearly took Cooper Johns out of the game with a head clash in the first half. 4 tackles down. Can Melbourne put some pressure on here? Munster. Going to be Johns for the kick. It's a shallowish kick. It's bounced for Olam, who slips it to Big Nelson. It's a knock-on against the Storm. Billy, talk to us about this Parramatta defence. It's been a common thing tonight when Melbourne have gone wide. It's almost like Parramatta's defence is showing them the sideline and fanning over there.
Well, they're all in sync.
Let's go, wait here.
So they're getting up hard and they're using the sideline as another defender, and they're pushing the Melbourne Storm towards that sideline, but they're all doing the same thing.
It is their defence which has been the question mark. They're conceding on average 21 points per game throughout the season. It has been a perfect defensive effort so far through an hour of this match. There's Papali'i. Nice offload. Moses got a bit of space in the centre. He beat Jesse Bromwich and he stepped back inside, but Carmen Kamika was good there. Gutherson sees something he likes, floats a cutout ball. Sivo down the sideline. He's away. Oh, Micah Seep, did he get it down? He thinks he got it down. The crowd think he got it down, and that might have sealed Parramatta a place in the 4.
Yeah, strike players standing up. Started on the right side, Mitchell Moses. Came down a short side. Harvey Norman replay, then Gutherson gets out from dummy half. Beautiful pass over the top. And then Sivo just puts the pedal down. Who is going to stop him there? That is some sort of athlete. Watching this front on. Billy as a fullback, what would you do?
Well,
just watch this.
This here, no thanks.
Yours.
He's picked that up out of dummy half, Clint Gutherson, and we've already spoken about the big moments he's had in this game. Well, that's as big as they come. Game's on the line, and he's thrown a beautiful pass. You listen to this Sivo chant now. Down to you, Freddie.
We're actually directly behind Gutho as he passed that, and I couldn't hear it goes. Here it goes. Here it goes. Isn't it just music to your ears? And we're behind Gutho, and when he threw it, my first thought, well, that's just going into the crowd. He has just thrown that to no one. Then all of a sudden, he just popped up out of nowhere, out of the corner of your left eye. Sivo on the belly button.
And that's what you need, your best players going back to back to back. Moses went at him, and Gutherson got the ball and just played outside the structure.
How was that chant?
Good if you're a Para fan. Ask Craig Bellamy, I don't think he'd like it.
Moses from touch, he's doing everything tonight. This is the real Parramatta tonight. They go shorts. It's a scrap for the ball. Melbourne win it back, do they? It's Parramatta knock-on, double knock-on. First Parramatta.
Billy, this time of year, momentum. There we go, captain's challenge.
No tackles here, Grant. We have a captain's challenge from Parramatta.
Well, Micah Sivo, he was adamant that he didn't touch this football. Another short kick-off.
Melbourne kick chases onside.
And the target's Coates.
The ball is knocked on by Melbourne. The challenge is successful.
Yeah, Billy, momentum this time of year.
Oh, Look, I think it's even more important than the ladder position. Obviously, that top four, we always talk about that top four, and no one's won the competition outside that top four in the past, well, what is it, 20, 25 years. But I just think you have to be playing well. You have to be playing your best football. You have to be healthy. And you look at Parramatta, if they go on to win this game, they're going to finish in that 4th position. They're going to get 2 bites of the cherries. And if they knock off the Panthers in week 1, they get a week's rest and they get a home final to get into a grand final.
Well, you can see them, as this game's gone on, they've got more confident. They said Gutherson's winning those big moments. Mitchell Moses is having some great moments. Dylan Brown early in the game. Their big guns are firing. As Parramatta fans to be believing.
Here's Moses again. Oh, wow. Right off. That's remarkable. They just keep on coming off this second phase football from the big men. Marnie, away to Polnor. Madison with a good ball here near Corey, runs into space, gets it back to Brown. He'll kick through. Here comes Sivo. Oh, the ball just was too early.
Wow.
Play the ball in the middle.
Went too hard at it, Dylan. He had the right shape on the ball, but just hit it a little bit too hard. He hits it with the outside of his boot. The ball's bending away. You can see it bending away from the sideline, but just in these slippery conditions, the slippery ground, it just doesn't bite at all.
Yeah, love the fact that he reacted to his first instinct. His first instinct was to kick the football, and he backed himself.
You got to get up. Yeah, you're right. Mark's there. On the line. On the line.
Oh, Bromwich. Tried to hold Reid Marnie at bay. The NRL Telstra Premiership Grand Final returns to Accor Stadium, Sydney, just down the road from here for both the men's and the women's on October 2. And tickets are on sale now. They're starting at $59 until September 5. NRL.com/tickets. Well, Andrew Johns said in the press this morning that Carroll win tonight as Olam runs onto one. Good tackle again by Walmer Blake. No panic there. I'll just get back to that in a minute. Melbourne looking for their first try. Munster thought about a kick. Went to Karma Kamitha, who ran at Marnie. And he's pulled down within a metre of the line. Harry Grant dinks it in behind. And he gets it through, but Gutherson sends it over the back.
Yeah, guess who's there?
Goal line drop out.
Clint Gutherson.
Yes, Andrew said if they win tonight, this Parramatta side, he's tipping them to play Penrith in the grand final. That would be something. There's a few other teams that don't agree with Andrew's viewpoint, but they certainly have the game and they have the record. They ended Penrith's home winning streak earlier in the year. They beat them here as well a few weeks back.
They went awfully close to beating Penrith in the final series last year.
Only 2 points the difference.
And no Reid Marnie.
Oh, what a take.
How good was that?
Oh, Nelson. Well, they won't be happy if he scores. Cooper Johns. Josh King. Five metres out. Campbell Gillard back on the park. And Grant in between them and scores.
Did you highlight this in the pre-game, Billy?
Yeah, he's got a great ability at deception, and any opportunity he'll get out. He's got good speed. He's done a whole heap of work defensively. Harry Grant, Harvey Norman replay, just facing out to the right, and then gets out, and he's got a runner on the outside of Madison and just drags him out of the line. He finds the space, and Harry Grant, well, 20 points to 4, soon to be 20 points to 6. Maybe it's not over just yet. He's a player, Joey.
Oh, isn't he? Top the tackle count. He made 46 tackles, burning everything, pressuring kickers. He must be as fit as they come.
Oh, Meany's missed the kick. You think he'd find himself in the Australian number 9 jumper for the World Cup, Harry Grant.
Make sure you wait, guys.
He's the premier number 9 in the game now, you'd have to say.
Yeah, they've got some options. Mel Meninga, Happy Coruscant, Ben Hunt,
Stay
Damien
behind,
Cook,
guys.
Reece Robson.
Stay behind.
There's a good batch, isn't there? A good batch of number 1s too. 20 points to 4. Melbourne on the board, and King with the kick reply. Gee, you're quick to put the slows on Harry for the Kangaroos, jumper. Billy, he's your man. He'll be right behind him.
He'll be right.
Here's Jesse Bromwich now. All right, we've got a Twitter poll running at NRL on 9. We're asking, will it be an Eels v Panthers grand final? Interested in the audience response there. Wouldn't that be a cake? Oh, look at this spiral kick from Munster. It's going to dip, and it bounces back for Melbourne. Oh, look at that. And it bounces straight into a Parramatta player chasing back, who might have copped a knock around the chops.
Don't look at it. Look at it.
Yeah, the bounce was too good for the Melbourne Storm.
Well, it's Brown running back, and well, he's gone over the top of him.
Billy, that's been a couple of times the high kicks have found the ground.
Yeah, it's as I saw it.
What did Parramatta have to do in both those situations?
Well, they've got to look at their positioning to start with, whether they can be in a better position to get to that drop zone, and then their reaction time to get to that drop zone. You've got to identify it early where the ball's going to land, and try and get to that position as quick as you can. So you want to try and reduce the amount of times that those high balls hit the ground.
In those positions, would you call your wingers back when to get back?
Well, you've got a system. Everyone's got a system, and you want to be working off the football. So you should be reminding each other, but you shouldn't have to be telling everyone where to be all the time.
Campbell Gillard, he's up near 180 running metres now. Played 54 minutes of the game. It's been a mess. They've all been, well, these middlemen for Parra. Lane dumped. Another Moses skyscraper. And a tap back, and Papali'i rolls it on the boot. This is going to hold up in the end goal. How about that for touch from the back row?
He's holding the shoulder by the look of it. He's getting that pain down his arm, a burner.
Oh, he did well to get it on the boot. Did he mean that spin, Joey?
That's a fluke.
I'm sure. Oh.
Stay behind. Stay behind, guys.
Junior Polo, Regan Campbell-Gillard, the two starting props for the Eels, leading the meter eaters tonight. Munster.
There's your platform. You got the two front rowers running for the most metres for Parramatta. I mentioned it before, Brad Arthur would be really impressed with that.
You can see the two big boys we're speaking about, Campbell-Gillard and Junior. They're just back on the 40-metre mark. The hard work has been done. They're letting the other boys cheer and carry on. They're just sitting back there talking to each other. I know last year, in the pre-season, these two, Regan and Junior, they would meet twice, 3 times a week at 5:30 in the morning before training and walk for an hour to keep their weight down. Just those extra little 5% things. You can see both of them are firing, playing big minutes too. That sort of commitment, it pays off, and also it influences the other teammates.
It's a connection too, Joey. Those connections within the team.
The time when they stopped at Macca's for a feed on the way back.
Another 2 off the boot of Mitchell Moses.
Stay behind, guys. Make sure you wait, guys. Please stay behind. Stay behind, guys. Stay behind.
Another short one. This one is covered the 10. Air swing, but knocked on by Melbourne. And Gutherson's got it back. Well, he's got over the sideline. Well, that one, let's start that one again, shall we?
Well, I think it went through the hands of the Parramatta player, and
Middle.
And then the Melbourne Storm knock it on.
Let's go. Shot clock on. Let's go.
Straight through Sevo's hands, and Seve gets a touch.
Right.
So Parramatta finished 4th, Joey.
Yep.
When can the Parramatta supporters start getting excited about their
I'm
team?
excited now.
Yeah?
And just see they've got that momentum. You see the confidence. They play a style of footy which can worry the top teams, in particular Penrith, where they've beaten them twice this year.
And Melbourne twice.
And
now.
Melbourne. And look, they've been up and down a little bit, Parramatta, but one thing about them, when they're coming up against the top teams, they really lift.
So, Andrew, if you've got Penrith first, when you think about the other 2 teams in the 4, Cronulla, North Queensland, and now Parramatta, where have you got Parramatta in terms of challenges?
Hold on a second. Behind Penrith. Look, I still think Penrith will win it. But I think this team here, they play a style of footy that can really trouble them. They're healthy. They're confident, building momentum. And you can imagine after this win, all their supporters, they'll be on board. They'll be believing.
Well, the 2 names that adorn the northern and southern ends of this CommBank Stadium, Peter Sterling and Brett Kenny. They were the 2 that helped drive this club to its last premiership win in 1986. Is it Moses and Brown that can snap this very, very long and exhaustive drought?
Walking in tonight, first person I saw was Steve Ella. I'm going to chat to him about the way the team's going. He believes he thinks they got the squad to go all the way. And what a player he was.
The other team out there tonight, Joey, is the Melbourne Storm. They get Jerome Hughes back. But where can they go in this final series? They'll finish outside the top 4.
Well, if things go to plan what we think.
Oh, Munster just throws a bird on it. I suppose desperate times, and Kafusi lands on it. Well, they will host a final in week 1, albeit elimination. But Canberra or Brisbane will have to make the trek to Amy Park, barring something obscene happening. But for all intents and purposes, Melbourne will finish in 5th place. Moses inside the last 5. Away to Papali'i. Back to Jacob Arthur. Now to Craig Gutherson. 6 more. Gutherson showing it. Campbell Gillard juggling it. And he's happy to succumb in the tackle. Brown, left foot step. He reaches out to penalty. He couldn't resist.
He did so well. He's so strong.
He's trying to plead his case and then just laughed and went, yeah, you got me.
Yeah. He is so dangerous on his feet, and then the strength in the tackle. You see him just surge to the line. He just could not help himself.
Did that ball hit the ground?
Yeah. You mentioned the Melbourne Storm finishing 5th. Well, that's the first time that the Melbourne Storm have finished outside the top 4 since 2014.
That's amazing.
Well, you're considering the injury list they got. Their player 1 front rower, Christian Welsh, has been out most of the year. Outside backs have been depleted with injuries.
Ryan Pappenhausen.
Remus Smith, George Jennings, and Christian Welsh, as you mentioned. Tom Eisenhuth not here tonight. Here's a chance, though, for Nick Meaney to race away and score.
You won't be happy, Brad Arthur. Nice play by Munster. But Isaiah Papali'i, he just relaxes on his job. The ball goes away. Harvey Norman replay. Watch the jersey 12. Stops on the play. He had to get across there and close that gate. And then Munster does what Munster does. Dummy, surge, pass inside.
Well, that's the hope for Melbourne, isn't it? Moving forward in the next month, how far they go will be dictated by their class players, and we just saw one there, Cameron Munster. And he's tried super hard tonight. We get Jerome Hughes back.
Tomorrow night on Macca's Friday night footy, we're off to the all-new Allianz Stadium. Round 3 of the NRLW kicks off live on 9Gem with the Roosters up against the Dragons. Then the NRL's oldest rivals, the Roosters and the Rabbits, battling it out from 7:30. Here on 9, it'll be a sellout there. I cannot wait to get there. It is a brilliant complex, and we'll give you a good look at it, both in terms of the playing service and all the other bells and whistles. But it is quite the stadium, and it will be electric as the Roosters and the Rabbits do battle. Now that's the other little wild card coming out of this weekend, is that it seems now that the Roosters and the Rabbitohs are going to play each other in round 1 of the finals.
Yeah, the only thing to be decided is where.
Yeah. Down the left they come again. Now our Twitter poll. Gee, they've been quick to vote here. Will it be a Parramatta Penrith grand final? Yes, 37%. No, 63%. Well, Joey's a believer. The audience not quite convinced in Parra. Just yet. Who knows? I think we can all agree, though, it's going to be a sensational final series. Xavier Coates flies high to penalty for offside.
Well, you can make a case for every team in the top 8. From Canberra to Penrith. They've all got their credentials. Most teams are playing well.
Over here.
I think I'm right in saying Canberra might have one of the better records against Melbourne at home. Just over 90 seconds left here. And a floating pass out to Nofaluma. That's his 99th try in the NRL, and Parra have conceded 2 late tries here.
Well, a quick kick here, they'll get a minute. Well, he's called time off.
I'll put it a try.
A quick kick here will put the Melbourne Storm within a converted try.
It comes off. Whoa. You can set it up. But wait till we confirm it though.
Well, Nick Mooney.
You can set it up though, because when he confirms it, I'm going to call time on. Cameron?
Why is there time off? Again, Harvey Norman replay. It's Isaiah Papali'i just falling asleep in the defensive line again. You just see that high shot. Melbourne will take a quick conversion. Nick Meaney's picked up an arm injury.
This is really poor.
Oh,
he missed the kick. This is really poor from Parramatta.
Wow, that was a vital kick. Freddie?
Yeah, well, on the Sunday footy show, I'm going to bring focus to this amount of time after tries and leading to kickoffs like you just saw. Then Ashley Klein claimed that they were just checking to see if the try was legitimate. He actually told Cameron Munster to put the ball up because she can kick it straight away. During the year, or even just before the Penrith game 2 weeks ago, the time has varied from 9 seconds to a minute 40. This is something incredibly inconsistent, and as you can see, that if he kicks that goal and Nick Mooney actually kicks the one earlier, then they're right in the game in Melbourne. They've got one big set of 6 to win the game.
When have you started doing homework?
Stay behind!
I like it.
Well, when he gets a bee in his bonnet, he's one of the best. Well, we've been, and I think rightly, exalting this performance by Parramatta, but the last couple of minutes, Billy, they've clocked off.
Yeah, their coach won't be happy with that.
Like you say, if they kick that goal, Melbourne have got a minute to come back and send it to the golden point. How could that even be a possibility given what we've seen so far tonight? Look at this, here's a break. Seve flings it back infield and Sean Lane Monty, his own business, dives on it. That will kill the game.
Well, it's only 3 tries apiece.
Yeah.
They've been the much dominated team out there tonight, Parramatta. They certainly deserve this win. They deserve to finish in the top 4. And they'll enjoy this one. They've got a week to get ready for the Penrith Panthers.
Yeah, it's a big effort. Think back a month, 6 weeks, there were no certainties to even be in the top 8 the way things were going, but they have really found some great form, and they complete the regular season with a resounding victory, although the scoreboard doesn't reflect the nature of it, as Billy has just said. But it is a victory that secures a place inside the 4. They will get a second chance in the finals, and it sets up this remarkable Week 1 contest. The Battle of the West will be all the talk this week. It'll be Penrith and Parramatta in Week 1 of the finals for season 2022. But here in Thursday night footy, Parramatta 22 have beaten the Melbourne Storm 14.